Brodes Media.
Matvei Michkov is on his way home. That's right, his home is now either South Jersey, maybe he can get a nice place in Haddonfield, New Jersey, or he goes with the big-time Center City life, whatever it is. I don't know. But Matvei Michkov is coming to town, and it should get people jumping, all right? I was on the radio the day the news broke, and I had people calling in saying I haven't been this excited since Eric Lindros. Okay, now, if you're unfamiliar with the type of juice that Eric Lindros brought to the table, this is absurd. There's a lot of casuals out there that ask me to make a comparison in a different sport. And I think the best way I can summarize this, I'm trying to keep it very close to the now. The Sixers are down in the dumps. The vibe, that is. But the best way to explain this is Joel Embiid's dominance with Tyrese Maxey's excitement and the young kid that you think could blossom into a star, and you see his work ethic and you're excited to watch his growth year in and year out, the way that he's improving nonstop and making these insane jumps year after year with the skill of Joel Embiid. And I got to give a lot of credit to Danny Brier and Keith Jones. Now, it's not surprising if you were paying attention over the last few months. They have done a sensational job snagging a lot of Russians from overseas and getting them here. They did a great job prior to the draft to find a way to shut down the Voorhees skate zone and sneak him in. Nobody knew that this was going on, so they are super, super detailed. At the time of the draft, did I think that we'd see him after year one? Absolutely not. No. I thought maybe they could land him prior to his KHL deal running its course. But now, 1 year in, the reason I give Danny and Jonesy a lot of credit is they were getting some backlash at the time of the draft, only because who wants to deal with Russia? But just like they're able to slither around and maneuver around super sly, with Danny putting in all the work behind closed doors prior to even landing the Flyers general manager job. And the reason I bring that up is it was his first crack at the NHL draft. And he's trying to put together this rebuild with superstar talent to really provide a big buzz with this Flyers core and the city. They weren't just going to take a random Flyer and hope that maybe one day he will come here from the KHL. This thing was methodical. This was extremely mapped out, extremely planned. And they did a great job executing it. The Flyers knew this was happening. They knew the news would be leaked very soon. That's why when Keith Jones spoke not too long ago, he talked about the expectations of this group. And they're trying to downplay expectations. Downplay. And I know why they're doing it. Last year, they technically overachieved, and then the failure happened at the back end, and now you're getting this new shiny toy that's going to take some time to get to where we want him to get to, okay? It doesn't happen with the snap of your fingers. It's going to take time. He's coming to a different country. It's a different league. It's still a grown man's league out in Russia playing in the KHL, and for him to be, in his teens, learning what that's like and playing against the big body guys, it goes a long way, but there's different sheet of ice sizes in the KHL compared to this, and there's just a lot of, there's less time and space. It's different. It's different. And the league knows, by the way, what Matvei Michkov means. So when you're out there, Connor Bedard treatment is different than Scott Lawton treatment, which is different than Travis Konechny treatment. You see what I'm saying here? So the level of focus on this kid, especially when there's not a Stamkos, a Victor Hedman. If you're thinking of Tampa, for example, and I bring them up for a reason, I'll get to that in a second. There's so many other variables that you got to really put your shine on. You know, got to put the shine on many people with the Flyers. With all due respect, I love Tyson Forster. I love Cam York. I love the way that they've been developing their game. But Matvei being here, it's, yo, dude, you're going to have to earn this motherfucker, okay? That's what it's going to be like. They were limiting the hype and limiting the expectations moving forward because they were aware, it goes back to how detailed they are in every aspect of the job, so the fans don't get too overboard. Now, here's what I'll say to that. I can't stand, as a Flyers fan, imagining anything less than last season. I don't care if they overachieved. I don't care this. I don't care that. No. Reality is, by the end of it, there was a lot of good things there. And I can't expect you to reverse, especially getting a young kid and a young prospect like Michkov, who should help this team. Even through the struggles, he should help this team. I want to read for you what the comparisons to Matvei Michkov is. All right, so let's take a look here on the Daily Faceoff, which is where Frank Saravalli does a lot of his work, and he has some people who writes for the website as well and make content, and they have one individual who does some stuff on some prospects, and this is what was stated here. Simply put, Michkov would be a number one in many drafts, but the question marks last year, plus some guy named Connor Bedard, meant that wasn't happening. His ability to make decisions at breakneck pace and execute them with little to no difficulty is second to none. Michkov's hands are nearly untouched in terms of raw talent. There's no shortage of lacrosse goal highlights. The way he creates plays, executes them, and dazzles, there's very few like them, a scout said prior to the 23 draft. The puck just comes to him, and he knows what to do with it. He's a magician as a hockey player. You'll get puck handlers that move the puck well but can't score. But that's not a problem here for Michkov. Some scouts think that he'll be a 50-goal scorer in the NHL, and I don't doubt that. The puck seems magnetized to him at all times, and he's so great in open space on the power play. Wow, we're going to get actual help on the power play? I didn't know that was real. I didn't know if that could actually happen. Thank the Lord that maybe we can see a power play that can move the puck, and a power play that could generate scoring chances, and a power play that can actually do something solid. Oh, thank the Lord. It says here, Michkov showed that at the 2021 U18 World Championship, he went toe-to-toe with Connor Bedard and outplayed the Canadian phenom. So that's so sick to read. Oh, my God, does that make blood flow in areas that... Now, is there any concern about the head coach and the way that he handles younger kids and this and that? No. Now, if you listen to Torts, he's been very open and honest about Michkov for a long-ass time. First off, he wants to build this thing the right way, okay? Even when he's done with the head coach position, maybe he's even a front office member here in Philadelphia. So he's committed to actually getting this thing back on track. And not only that, he's been talking so highly about what this kid is capable of doing. I don't think he's just going to let him come to town and then just strip him down insanely. Number two, you don't think that there's some hard-ass coaching in Russia? You don't think that he probably had to deal with some stuff in Russia, as bad as Torts could be? And quite frankly, there's some reasonable pieces to look at in their NHL career and wonder, was it really Torts or was it the douche on the ice? Now, I didn't like how Torts handled Sean Couturier. He's not perfect, and he has plenty of examples of things that I don't like out of Torts, but at the same time, he also has clearly opened up with allowing Travis Konechny to play his game and allowing some issues to happen, because if you let TK be TK, you're going to see a lot more extreme positives. You saw that happen when he took calculated risks, and there's no doubt he's going to give this open freedom for Matvei Michkov. What's a fair expectation for Matvei Michkov? So on some of the sports betting books, he is sitting at around 46.5 points or so. It's a little low for my liking, to be honest with you, but you got to be understanding of the situation, I guess. I looked it up, and Nikita Kucherov, his first year, had about 18 points. After that, it was about 60 points. Last season, he had 144. Okay, so you got to understand the time of this. Like it's a growing process. Like I think Tyrese Maxey's going to be a star in the NBA, but I also look at a team that's trying to win a championship right now, and my first thought is Tyrese Maxey's not ready yet. That doesn't diminish my joy and my excitement. Now, the current state of the franchise is what's bothersome, more so than just strictly looking at it with a Maxey front. So Michkov is almost the Joel Embiid part of it when you got him and the start of the process kind of vibe compared to being in the middle of the process and then finding a Tyrese Maxey. So the timelines don't necessarily add up, but the enjoyment of watching the one player, knowing that there's bumps and bruises along the way that will ultimately end up being a star at the end of this, you got to realize that the journey's in front of us here, and you don't snap your fingers and get to greatness in 1 second, but the greatness is in him, and I expect it to get out of him.